This year didn't carry us far. It didn't rush us forward or ask us to chase after anything new. Instead, it asked us to stay, to learn the shape of our days, to notice the quiet ways life continues when the world grows smaller. This was a year of staying close to home. A year where love didn't arrive loudly, but steadily, showing up as care, patience, and responsibility. And somewhere along the way, a small life entered ours, with tiny paws and endless curiosity. She reshaped our rhythms, slowed our steps, and reminded us to look down, to look closer, to look again. As the year came to a close, I found myself returning to a familiar voice, one that always reminds me to look closer. Mary Oliver says, "Attention is the beginning of devotion." These chapters weren't measured in miles traveled, but in moments tended, and this is how it lived. Before anything else, I returned to the places that asked nothing of me, only that I arrive as I am. I didn't need to explain myself there. I didn't need to know what came next. I walked familiar paths more slowly than before, noticing how the light shifted in places I thought I already knew. The trees didn't rush me, the water didn't ask questions, and in their quiet presence, I remembered that even when life narrows, it doesn't disappear. I learned that staying close didn't mean standing still. It meant rooting down, letting the world hold me, while I learned how to remain. And sometimes I wasn't alone at all. There were voices beside me, laughter carried on the air, familiar faces, familiar rooms, the ease of being known without needing to say much. It was a season of showing up for one another in small, ordinary ways. And then the year asked something different of us. Not to move faster, but to listen. You know how some things in life aren't things you realize you need or can't live without until they're already there? How life can feel so complete until you understand it wasn't because of what was missing. Enter Molly, our sweet new addition, one who arrived quietly. A small life, curious, unsteady, already asking for more of us than we were used to giving. She didn't interrupt our days, she reshaped them. Mornings began earlier, walks grew slower. The world felt closer to the ground. I learned the rhythm of these little paws, of waiting patiently, of seeing familiar places through brand new eyes. Around us, the garden was waking too. Seeds pressed into the soil, green reached upward, life responded to care. Expansion didn't arrive as freedom. It arrived as responsibility, as choosing to stay near, as tending what had been given. And in caring for something so small, I felt my own life widen, not outward but deeper. This was the season everything began to grow at once. Somehow, in this season, I discovered I could dig deeper within myself than I ever had before. Caring for a new puppy and tending the garden alongside her showed me a kind of nurturing I didn't know I carried. Life began asking more of me, not all at once, but daily, in small ways that mattered. There were things to tend, my home, my husband, and now this small life learning her way through the world. And just outside, the garden responded the same way that she did, slowly, patiently, reaching toward care. It was a season of growth in every sense of the word. I found joy in the simplest acts: watering, waiting, celebrating tiny progress. Precious moments began to stack gently on top of another until life felt unexpectedly rich. I felt rich. Contentment washed over me in a way I had never known before. In just her first week, she taught me more than I expected. To celebrate small wins, to focus on what is working, and to try again when the first attempt falls short. Somewhere in that tending, a bond took root, quietly, steadily, becoming an anchor I didn't know I needed. A reminder that responsibility has a way of revealing your worth when someone depends on you completely. And once we learned how to carry something new, we stepped back into the world differently. Eventually, we did step away from home, not to escape it, but to carry it with us. Some of our first outings were small and familiar. Days spent with friends, salt air on our skin, or wheels turning slowly along island paths, Molly learning the world one pedal stroke at a time. These weren't getaways, they were gentle reminders that movement could still feel safe. And then, later in the season, we went farther, back to the mountains, this time with a small life beside us, seeing everything for the first time. traveling with her changed the pace entirely. There was more stopping, but there was more noticing, more laughter in between moments than in the destinations themselves. The roads felt quieter, the views more earned. I realized then that we weren't trying to outrun the year we were living. We were learning how to move within it. Molly discovered the world one step at a time, and somehow in watching her, we did too. We saw familiar places differently, not just through our own eyes, but from new perspectives we hadn't been able to capture before. Wider views and higher ground, a reminder of how small we are and how full life can feel inside that smallness. Motion didn't have to mean escape, it could mean presence. And for the first time in a long while, traveling felt less like searching and more like arriving. And this time we didn't arrive as we always had before. We came as something new, learning how to move together, how to pause for what mattered, how to follow a much smaller set of little paws. Traveling as a new family, it changed everything. And in between everything else, life kept happening at home. In routines we returned to daily, in meals made, in rooms tidied and lived in. There was comfort in repetition, the quiet reassurance of knowing where the day would begin and where it would land. Love lived here, not in grand gestures, but in showing up, in keeping the lights warm, in caring for what was within reach, and in tending the life we were already living. The ordinary became a kind of devotion, not because it was special, but because it was shared. And slowly, without much notice at all, these small familiar moments became the ones that held everything else together. Much of the year asked us to hold things quietly. Questions without answers, waiting without timelines. The kind of weight you learn to carry without ever fully settling down. David and I both moved through these days, holding concern close, tending what we could and staying steady, needing to trust what hadn't yet resolved. There were projects that kept our hands busy and small acts of care that grounded us, but our thoughts sometimes drifted too far ahead. And then in September, something shifted. After months of holding our breath, we were finally able to let it go. A successful procedure, a short recovery, and the quiet relief of watching health begin to rise again. It felt like the year loosening its grip, like standing at the edge of something and realizing we could step forward without fear pulling us back. From there, the days softened. Gratitude settled in where worry had lived. Hope felt lighter and easier to carry. And as the year tipped into the cozy months, we entered them with thankful hearts, more aware than ever of what it means to be held and to be well. a birthday wish begins as nothing more than a passing thought, something you don't expect to name, let alone see come true. For me, that quiet wish was simply this: to be in the mountains. And somehow, what started as a spark unfolded into a gift. A weekend away, a storybook setting, Callaway Gardens in the heart of Georgia, opening its gates to us at just the right moment. It had been far too long since all of us had been together like this, not just as family, but as friends. A sisterhood. 3 women with our mother as the steady pillar between us, anchoring us, holding us, reminding us who we are when we're together. We wandered, we talked deeply, we laughed. We made space for memories we knew even then we would carry for a lifetime. It felt like stepping into a chapter you don't want to close. One written slowly, intentionally, and with so much heart. Choosing magic that season didn't mean pretending life was perfect. It meant honoring how far we had come and allowing ourselves to celebrate anyway. Throughout the Burr months, I found myself noticing more. The way light lingered on winter mornings, the comfort of familiar routines, and the quiet joy of knowing what truly mattered. I know that I carried less urgency with me and less striving, and in its place there was steadiness, gratitude, a deeper trust in the pace of my life. This year taught me that staying close can be its own kind of courage. That love, when practiced daily, reshapes everything. And that a life tended with care, however small it may seem, is already rich beyond measure. As the year drew to a close and December arrived, I felt a quiet burning within me, a sense that new chapters were waiting to open. It was hard to contain the excitement, and yet beneath it, there was also fear. The kind that comes when you know something is ending and something new is beginning, even if you can't quite see its shape yet. Have you ever felt that? Doors closing, chapters ending, and still a deep hope for what might come next. I knew the year ahead would ask something new of me, and I was ready, even if it meant taking a leap of faith. The closing of this year asked me to practice patience, to move slowly, and to stay steady, to let things unfold without forcing them into place. And somehow when I finally stopped rushing, it really did happen that way. I leaned deeply into faith, into prayer, into stillness, asking God for guidance, for clarity, for His will over my life. And now, sitting here in January editing this video, I feel an overwhelming sense of contentment, peace with the decisions I've made, gratitude for the direction unfolding, and such a deep thankfulness that you're here with me, that together we're stepping into a new story. It's one made up of 12 chapters, and we're standing in the first one now. I'm excited, not because I know how it will all turn out, but because I get to discover it as I go. We don't step into what comes next with all the answers, only with what this year gave us. Presence, patience, and the quiet hope that comes from knowing we're exactly where we need to be.